Good evening and welcome to the program. This is The Limelight and my name is Prince Apollo. Now, this evening we reflect on the Global Development 2030 Agenda and more specifically the Sustainable Development Goals which were set in 2015. And now that it's 10 years down the road, we reflect on the progress but also look at the 5 years left to the 2030 target. And in this program, I host Mr. Richard Baguma. And Richard Baguma is the Secretary General for the United Nations Association of Uganda, one of the key stakeholders in fast-tracking the implementation of the Sustainable Development Goals. Richard, welcome to the program. Let's quickly go to what you think has been the progress in the last 10 years as far as attaining the 2030 agenda is concerned.
Thank you very much, Apollo. Thank you for hosting me yet again. Of course, Soul TV is home.
Yep.
So I'm back home, this time on a different show though. And I'm glad to be here. We have regular reviews regarding the progress of the attainment of the Sustainable Development Goals. These goals are global goals that are 17 in number.
Yep.
And are principally aimed to achieve the main pillars that the United Nations got made up for, tackling poverty, increasing peace, justice, and stability globally, and enhancing development.
Yeah.
Globally, there is overall slow progress in the attainment of the goals, targets within the last 10 years. The larger number of the goals are what we call off track when you look at where we are supposed to be. We have finished 2/3 of the time.
Of the journey.
Yeah. And that's in many of the countries. There are some countries that have made very good progress, but largely we are off track. Not entirely though.
Yeah.
There are some things where we are off track. In Uganda particularly, we have had 3 what we call voluntary national reports. We go report to the UN, to all the other countries about our progress. The other countries do the same. And at the last one, and that's I think 2 years ago when we were at the UN, Uganda's score was about 54 point something.
Oh yeah.
That's I think the highest we have had. And so there is some progress in some of the areas, and there is stagnation in others.
In other areas.
And then we have no achievement really off track. Yeah, that's where we are.
Okay, there are critical areas, or if you look at the world and Uganda in particular, like in areas of youth engagement during these 10 years, how has it been?
Okay, so the goals, indeed, like you say, have been focused on youth engagement, on gender equalization and equity, and on marginalized groups. And the mantra for the Sustainable Development Goals actually is leave no one behind.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so there has been an attempt. Now, the other thing about youth is that they are the largest part of the population in most of the places in the world. So there is need for special attention. However, the issues that are focused on in the goals do affect the issues, the youth directly. If you look at the goals, you talk about health, you talk about poverty, you talk about education, you talk about decent jobs, you talk about climate justice and change. You talk about, so these are the issues that are affecting the youth. And Therefore, because the progress has been relatively slow in many of these areas, so the youth have also not been impacted as it had been hoped to be. So youth engagement has not been as sufficient as had been expected. And that's one of the areas we are giving attention to quite a lot. The youth are not majorly part of the decision making, especially because decisions on international issues are intergovernment issues. And there are not many governments which are led by youth in the world. So there is that problem mismatch. And a lot of the time we find that even when youth are invited, a lot of it can be tokenism. Yeah, the youth are advantaged skill-wise, they are advantaged resource-wise, they are disadvantaged skill-wise, they are disadvantaged resource-wise, but also they are generally not in the important decision-making. So youth engagement has not been as good as had been anticipated, yet this is a huge part of the population, especially in the middle and not well-developed countries.
What about in the area of gender equality?
In Uganda, for example, and in many other places, there has been stagnation. There was progress, yes. There was progress that was done.
Even in Uganda?
Yes, absolutely. Look at the first of all, the legal requirements. You are supposed to have about 30%
of women
in decision-making positions. If you take the military, if you take the banking sector, the financial sector, it's not just say banking, the financial sector. But you see, this is where the power lies. It's in the boardrooms. So if you take financial institutions, if you take business companies, do we have that? Do we have the 30%? We are unlikely to have the 30%. If you take media, where we are now, and I'm interested in media because that's my profession. If you look at the chiefs in editor-in-chiefs and the managing directors of the media houses, where are they?
Their numbers are dismal.
Oh, yes. So while we have had some movement in the positions which are political, and therefore by law, you have to have these people. But even where it is by law, in some of the councils, you don't have 30% of the women. Yet this is this is what it's supposed to be. So it's in Uganda and many other countries it has stagnated, even where you had some movement previously.
Now, with only 5 years left to 2030, I'm sure we are entering in a critical stage of implementing these SDGs. What is your opinion, looking at the efforts that have been put in and this shorter time that we are left with?
So in 2020, after reviewing the first 5 years, the world realized that progress was very slow, a lot of stagnation. There was some progress, but so the countries decided at the United Nations to launch what they called a decade of action. Decade of action really was to cause the agency.
That's from 2020 to 2030.
Yes, 2020 to 2030. And one of the problems actually was that the COVID pandemic caused a lot of slowdown globally. So even it hit a lot. We are still recovering actually in some of the places. So the decade of action was to cause a sense of urgency, to galvanize cooperation and resource mobilization to cause this. And so that's what happened, and that's what we have been trying to do to increase. Now, a few areas were chosen to therefore contribute to this sense of urgency. So focusing on young people and focusing on women and people with disability, these minority groups, and rather the disadvantaged groups, and people of indigenous, what they call the indigenous communities. And then there was a focus on particular areas. There was a decision that focus, while it is on the 17, it should also be on particular areas. One of the areas, for example, and you can see it reflected in the discourse, is the area of food systems. Yeah, there was deciding that there should be these priority areas, energy and infrastructure. You can see these countries are now focusing on, energy, but also clean energy.
Renewed.
Yes. Agriculture. So where you have food, and agriculture. Because agriculture is important, but agriculture is in agro-industrialization. technology, digital technology, was another area that was considered that could enhance this. Education. Education combined with decent jobs. So it is skilling that is specifically aimed at job enhancement. And that was one of the areas. And then environmental protection. Because climate change has caused huge reversals in our achievements, particularly in environmental degradation, in destruction of what has been done, but also conflicts because of social, social protection, which really means reduction of conflicts. And we have not been very successful
in
on
that
that
area.
front. Yes.
So I asked, in your opinion, what, looking at the efforts that have been put in fast-tracking implementation, what do you see?
Okay, there were,
in these 5 critical areas.
Yes, there will be. The critical areas are 6. You can see that infrastructure is gaining energy.
Okay.
It certainly has gained attention and more investment. We have issues about the quality of education. Quantity has certainly changed.
Okay, but quality.
Globally, we are debating quality because the education should not just be quantitative, it should be quality. There has been a lot of progress, by the way, on fighting poverty.
Okay.
Yes, you have more than 100 million people, because of the SDG programs, who have been moved out of the poverty. That's why you see Uganda is excited about being middle income, because it means we shall have hit our targets on poverty. Now, the challenge with that, and which was one very emphasized in the SDGs, is the income inequality.
Oh.
Yes. That you have,
while poverty is going down,
overall,
there is
in general terms,
inequality.
But the gaps are widening, both in the digital inclusion between the developed world and the developing world. We have a lot of digital exclusion, which means people are being left out, but also poverty. A few rich people are really getting more money, and the majority of the poor are remaining stagnant. So so we shall move out of poverty. We shall have more education, water and sanitation. We are improving. We had been really doing badly as our countries, including Uganda. This is why we were failing. Infrastructure, there is, and of course, gender and youth inclusion. But we still will miss the mark on a couple of the areas. While we will have definitely increased rates of immunization, which impact overall health, we are still very poor on the rate of health workers to the population. And this is very dangerous. We have failed to cut birth rates. We are still doing poorly. We have done poorly on the mother who die in childbirth, and the women who die in childbirth. This is and we have done a bit on reducing children mortality. This is being reversed, especially by conflict.
That is for Uganda.
Generally, globally.
Generally.
Yes, globally. Yes, we are, and then the achievements in nutrition and food are being especially affected by conflict, because we seem to have an increase in conflict globally.
Now let's talk about UNAU and the engagements that you are in to fast-track acceleration of SDGs. What are you doing as
as
the
United Nations
Association of Uganda?
So we are working to strengthen partnerships. So, for example, we have a partnership with our colleagues in Tanzania, the United Nations Association, with those in Ethiopia, in Finland, and to try and get our young people to participate fully in this. And some of the areas we are focusing on is the area of food systems and nutrition, because we are doing very badly.
As a country?
Yes, as a country, but globally. Yes. The other one is the area of peace. Yes, around governance issues, around election issues, so we are trying to promote peace consciousness and mindset awareness about the role of peace in development, or the lack of peace, and how it undermines. The other thing is we are promoting health. Yes, health, especially through communication, especially through the clubs, and the issues that affect us. Because, the issues that affect us are the issues to do with lifestyle. Yes, a lot of them are lifestyle, especially among our young people. So that's why you see we tackle sugary things, we tackle alcohol, we tackle tobacco, we tackle drugs. We want people to protect themselves against malaria and use nets. These basic things that have been undermining. The other one is creating partnerships globally.
Wow.
We have had our young people, facilitated them, look for resources to go to the United Nations, to go to other countries. Some have just come back actually last week. Some are in Rwanda now. Some have been to Tanzania to try and grow the understanding that the world is one. Where climate change affects one, it affects the other, and we have to act one. Finally, we have been discussing with our colleagues in Europe, and some of us were in Europe, to discuss the question of decent jobs.
Okay.
Because we find that while we go to work outside, which is a very good thing, we are doing very indecent and abusive jobs. One of the weaknesses and the thing we are trying to address is to have job and employment centers locally. There's need for workers. I was in Austria the other day and Germany. There is need for workers there. But we can't speak German.
Oh.
So we can't be. So why don't we have crash courses for 3 months and train our graduates in German
To go and
to go and work there, or in Arabic? Yes, and teach them a bit of the cultural issues. So that disadvantages us very much, and we can't get those jobs. Yet they want our workers. You see, our workers are more obedient. They are a little bit more accepting.
Yeah.
They are much more hardworking. They are less arrogant. So we just have to prepare them. So we need to do a little, and these are some of the things we are trying to do now.
Just as we conclude the show, what is your call to action, especially to other stakeholders in the implementation of SDGs?
You see, our focus is on young people especially because of the nature of our population. The young people, and that even today I was speaking to them, it is very, very important that they focus on empowering themselves, on their mindsets, on skilling themselves. There are free language courses, even now, by the German Cultural Center, by the Alliance Francois, and the Arabics, the Chinese. They are giving these, and these are the growing economies. These are the economies that need us to go and work there. But you find people don't take these opportunities. You may say the opportunities in Kampala, but a lot of the young people, even when they graduate, don't go away from here. But you don't see them taking these opportunities. So we want to convince the youth that while you want to rely on the government, you must also undertake those things that empower you to be competitive, not only here, but globally.
Okay.
That's one. The second thing is to push our leaders, because we are not going to expect them to do this, to push our leaders to negotiate for good labor agreements in the destination countries. We see what is happening to us when we go to the Middle East. Really, our governments must be able to go and negotiate with those governments so that we are protected from abuse and we can earn that money after all. It comes back here and helps us as a country, but also as a government. And I think this is very important. One of the other things we are demanding is that the education that we are getting must be relevant to the job market.
Oh, yeah.
We are studying things that can be very irrelevant to the job market. Why don't we speak to the private sector? Why don't we speak to our employers to see what is relevant?
Okay.
And then parents and all the duty bearers must also be educated that please allow your children to study what is relevant. Don't force them on the courses that you studied and you thought were prestigious. And yet they get out and they have nowhere to go. Absolutely, that's important.
As your final shot, Uganda is implementing the parish development model as one of those programs in line with the financial inclusion and not leaving anyone behind. Do you think that's that's a silver bullet, perhaps, that would catapult the population into financial inclusion as we conclude?
It is a very good program, first of all, I must say, as conceived, because it has a couple of pillars. The problem with it is that we have concentrated only on one pillar, which is the one where you give out money. For you to effectively use money, the other pillars, which are aimed at preparing the recipients of the money, must be implemented along the way. But the parish development bundle is an excellent program, but it shouldn't be just about cash handouts. It should be to prepare the young people and the other recipients to receive money and put it to empowering themselves out of poverty. But also the monitoring and evaluation mechanisms must be robust to respond quickly to the weaknesses that are identified. It is now more and more treated as a political gift.
Oh.
And that cannot help people get out of poverty.
Thank you so much, Richard, and thank you so much for those insights into the progress of sustainable development goals.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, our viewers. And that's it from Richard Baguma. And Richard Baguma is the Secretary General for United Nations Association of Uganda, one of those key stakeholders in fast-tracking the implementation of sustainable development goals. Now, we only have 5 years to pull up our socks and perhaps meet most of the targets. But it's me and you to do it. Good evening. Let's catch up again next Friday in another edition of The Limelight. God bless you. God bless Uganda.